next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you stuck in a paper jam of printer prices? Paper cuts from budget cuts? Don't throw in the towel. Call Dixie Digital Imaging and dive into our new and used inventory blowout. We're slashing prices on top-of-the-line Xerox, Brother, and Epson printers and multifunction devices. Gently used or brand new models that are tired of being in our warehouse. Don't miss out on these deals. Call 479-783-6600 for more details. Quantities and availability are limited. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
How do you get restaurants, how do you tell them to make the bacon the way that you want the bacon? Because sometimes if you order it crispy, it comes out and it's just like charred.
You say, I want it crispy, not charred. Sometimes when you guys bring it out, it's charred. I don't want it charred.
When it's charred, it's like...
No, hell no.
That's right. Now, I'm just going to tell you, if it's charred, I'm going to send it back.
Bring that plate out.
No, hell no. The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back...
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Well, it's kind of back to reality today, boys.
It's a new year.
Holidays are over. Happy New Year, by the way.
What a time to be alive.
It's cold. If you're in Northwest Arkansas, there's some snow on the ground. It's wintertime. And there's no holiday in the middle of the week to break this up. So
When's Groundhog Day? I want to know what's coming.
Yeah. Groundhog Day, I guess, is the next day.
I got up early this morning, Chuck, as I do.
Sure.
And I started reading the Farmer's Almanac immediately, just to kind of see where we were headed. Mm-hmm. And I can't put my finger on it. But I know that it's we're under a cold weather advisory. And I think I didn't need a weatherman to tell me that when I walked out this morning.
Thank God for the Farmer's Almanac.
It feels like 4 on the hill.
It's tough
16 and feels like 4 on the hill. 23 in Hot Springs. They're heating up in Hot Springs this morning at 23.
That is balmy.
Probably all the hot water in Hot Springs.
Yesterday morning, and I know people say things like this, and then, people get tired of hearing it, but I got home from Walmart at like roughly noon yesterday. No, listen to me. It was like 53 degrees. And within like 2.5 hours, it's like in the 20s. It was unbelievable the way it dropped yesterday. And then snowing by the end of the day.
I just love
Did you like that story?
I love a Monday story that starts when I left Walmart.
Yeah, well, I mean.
What was your weekend? Well, when I left Walmart.
That's as Arkansas as it gets, right
Arkansas
there. That's who I am. I went to Walmart yesterday.
I saw your Cowboys are done. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they I can't imagine a worse offensive show by a professional football team than what we saw from the Cowboys yesterday, unless it was the Chiefs without Mahomes.
Mike McCarthy after the game.
I'll just be clear, I'm a winner.
Yeah. Well,
about that.
Taken in full context.
I'm a winner.
Taking his whole quote in full context. He was talking about the course of his career, but I don't know what.
I'm a winner.
Yeah, he was That didn't age very well yesterday, that's for sure.
Well, I'll just say this about the Cowboys. They had a bunch of injuries. They had a bunch of unfortunate things happen.
Well, they weren't going anywhere anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I hate to say it,
Cowboys.
But
I was just making sure
they would have finished better than 7-10, which I think was it 6-11 or 7-10.
7-10.
7-10. They would have finished better than 7-10, but they weren't.
Only the Cowboys could make their quarterback the highest paid player in NFL history to only immediately lose him for the season.
Yeah, that just did.
And then to add insult to injury, one of the beautiful Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders took a kickoff.
Boy, she did.
Off the back of her noggin.
On the back of her noggin, man. I mean, it was incredible. First off, they had the penalty. They got a 15-yard penalty that they enforced on the kickoff.
Far out of bounds.
And he was going to, I don't know what he was doing. I have no idea. I've never seen a kicker hook a kickoff like that before.
Doink.
And that poor girl.
I
mean,
need
it
the
just,
goalpost sound, and we can play that when we say it hit her in the back of the head.
oh, I mean, it was right in the melon. I mean, it was bang. She went, but now I'll give her credit. She did not go down. And she kept her feet, and so I'll give her credit for that.
By the way, as we're just kind of waking up and getting rolling this morning, everybody was talking about that Vikings-Lions game. There's going to be one good game really this weekend, right? One game of real significance, other than the Chiefs throwing the game so the Bengals wouldn't be in the playoffs. Bart, sorry about that.
Well, I think that just had more to do with the fact that the Chiefs had already clinched the number 1 seed, and that without their best players, they are, in fact, very bad.
Well, when you're 4-8, the Bengals have been playing great at the end, but when you're 4-8, number one, you're going to have to win all the remaining games, and you're going to have to get some help.
Look, the Bengals were horrendous to start the year.
You got to roll
especially on
7
defense.
when you
Joe
start
Burrow,
4-8.
Joe Burrow in the offense has been incredible, or was incredible all year, and the defense just let him down this year. So that's the bottom line.
To finish where I started,
I'm sorry, Bo.
The Lions rolled,
and
Dan Campbell was happy about it.
You guys look like you remember who the you are.
That's kind of what I say when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I get that first cup of coffee, and I change it slightly. You got to remember who you are.
That's Bo talking to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Family breakfast.
That's
After
a career.
good day. Yeah.
That's a dad career of dragging kids out of bed to get ready for school.
That's right.
That's what that is. That's exactly what that is. Dan Campbell.
Look like you remember who the you are.
Every time I hear him with one of these motivational speeches, I just want to go to Applebee's.
Yeah, well, I think that's all our
This
reaction.
Applebee's commercial. It's just
He's brought him
just
back
awesome.
to life.
By the way, Tennessee just got another rebound.
No.
Ooh.
Yep, just now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning. The Vols have and Edwards spilled his coffee. So you got a lot. Yeah,
It's everywhere.
So so they're not the only ones that can't rebound. You can't catch it when it bounces off something either.
I guess
It
not.
just hits the ground. Like all the rest of the weekend, I got a ping pong ball out. I was just sitting around the house watching TV, and I would just drop the ball and catch it. And I'm like, that's a rebound. Yeah. And after about 30, I caught the Razerbacks back up. Kind of felt better for them, and then went on with my weekend.
That was a rough day. It was a rough day. And they, hey, Tennessee's good. I'd really thought until Saturday that Illinois was the best team I'd seen. I think Illinois is really, really good. And Tennessee's really good. And it's the physicality. I mean, not just inside, but at all 5 positions.
I'm just laughing that we don't have a camera on Edward. The one that's supposed to be on Edward is facing the blinds over there in the storage corner of the studio. But Edward is feverishly working over here like a server at a restaurant who has just dropped the water in somebody's lap.
It's all over my computer.
There's nothing worse than
You need a hair dryer? You gotta air that sucker out?
Well, Bart's the only one who probably owns a hair dryer. I know the 3 of us don't.
I do
Wow,
not.
that's a good turn.
Holy cow.
No, it's because we're all bald. And Bart's not. That's
Yeah.
the
He's
only
just
reason.
bitter. He spilled his coffee. He's
I haven't
bitter.
used a hair dryer since I was 17.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I hadn't even thought about it.
And I'm not even sure what I was doing with it then.
Yeah, well, wishful thinking.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, Cal, after the game,
And now there's some soul searching. We're off tomorrow. We'll have some individual meetings on Monday to, I'm not cracking. I've been through a lot of this. Now, not many games like this, but there have been games like this.
I can relate to a lot of this that I'm hearing this morning already.
And now there's some soul searching.
That's sort of like every Monday for me coming out of the weekend.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
think back on your weekend.
Oh, it's
and
not
what was
just
I
Monday.
doing?
I'm half the morning. What am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was I thinking?
We've had a weird couple of weeks, like
It has
going into
been
the
strange.
holidays, because we had Christmas on a Wednesday, we had New Year's on the following Wednesday, and it's like I think people weren't sure when to take vacation. Because normally it's that week between Christmas and New Year's. It kind of spans most of a week. And so it's real clear, like, when you go back to work. And we weren't all on the same page on that.
I think that's fair.
Like as a culture, as a
we were
state,
not. You're right.
We were all over the place.
We were.
Like some people were on vacation one week, some people were on another week, some people were off both weeks, some people were around, but we weren't around. We
need somebody to come out and say, hey, nobody's working from here to here. Like, we're done.
This is the first time I can remember starting a new year and losing track of days so quickly.
Well, Thursday felt like a Monday.
Today is January 6th. I had to look. I have no idea what. Like, I can't count back.
There have already been that many
days. Number of days since New Year's. And I don't remember any of my resolutions. Just like
those went
I'm not going to lie. It's been a rough start.
No, it has.
And I'm trying. I just don't know where I am, what day it is. I don't even, like, I had to.
Who am I?
When I wake up, I got to go, oh, yeah, who am I? That's been going on for a lot
How
longer
did
than a few days. Yeah, that's been a few years. But needless to say, I wake up, and I don't know, like, am I in a hotel? Am I in a house? I don't know. I've been traveling, for games. It's got to be the same for Chuck. He's had a couple of, you had a Liberty Bowl. You've been in Knoxville. By the way, Ole Miss comes in Wednesday night.
They do.
So Arkansas, after getting manhandled, will do some soul searching. And Wednesday night at 6, they'll host Ole Miss, who beat Georgia by 12 in Oxford to open their conference schedule.
This will be the last midweek game that will tip off actually before my bedtime. I think the rest of them are all like,
Yeah, I feel good about that for you
8
and for the show.
9 o'clock games and all that stuff.
Feel good about that for you and our show.
Thank you.
But because it's been so screwy, I just feel like we got a lot to talk about. Like
we really do.
I think listeners might have some things they want to discuss, like everything all the way back to the Liberty Bowl, the college football playoff, the SEC in ruins. SEC football, it doesn't mean more anymore. Is what some people have. They've written the death certificate on the SEC.
Some are downright gleeful. I mean, they really are.
And people are celebrating.
This is why people hate the media.
Yeah.
Because you got guys out there. Look, we all have biases. Anyone that says they don't's not quite telling the truth. But some of these guys, it's like, give me a break, man. It's like you've been waiting for 10 years. It's like you've had this column written for 10 years and you've just been waiting on someone to lose.
Well, if you're not in the SEC, then you're not rooting for it. And you constantly get told that your games don't matter in football because you don't play in this difficult league. A lot of people, not a lot, but a handful of analysts have said that the SEC has lost its advantage because they're no longer the only league paying players. Like they were cheating for years, and now that everybody can pay players, now we've leveled the playing field. But I would submit to you that the teams that have always been good are still good. Like Ohio State has always been good, and they're still really good. But who else is like changing the game?
When you look at the Final Four, that's as blue as it gets. When you look at the teams that are left, there are no bluer blue bloods in college football than these guys. The SEC is still top to bottom the best conference. It's just without a dominant team this year, in my opinion. It has truly cannibalized itself. Right up to the SEC championship game where Georgia's starting quarterback got knocked out for the rest of the year. Lots of times when you say they beat up on one another, you're just talking about wins and losses. The SEC, and it's not the only league, but they literally beat up on one another. They injure one another. If Georgia's not playing in what a lot of people would say an unnecessary conference championship game, Carson Beck doesn't get hurt. It's a bigger subject, and then, we'll get into it as we go down the road, but I think the SEC, with all these games being played right now, these leagues are going to have to start protecting their players the way the NFL does. And it's going to be, people aren't going to like it as much because quarterbacks are going to get, pushed down and there's going to be a flag. I think the SEC's challenge, I think one of the conference's challenges, and the Big Ten too, is how do we protect our stars? How do we ensure that when we get to the playoff, we've not injured our best team starting quarterback? Now, I'm not saying you can prevent all that, but I'm saying the NFL tries, And by and large, they're pretty good at it.
Every time something like this comes up, I'm just reminded that we're not set up for this. Like, we start doing things like a playoff without really considering that Ohio State, if they win it all, and I would say they're going to, based on what we've seen so far in the playoff. Like, they're the most talented, they're loaded, and it's like they flip that switch and they're hot right now. And that's what any coach would dream of in a playoff. But if Ohio State does that, they've played 4 extra games on top of their regular season. And when you talk about NFL and number of games, and there's a labor union, there's a players union that has a say in this. And so we don't have that in college football. We're going to have some arguments between players and coaches on when they should play, when they shouldn't play. There's just a lot of things that are not regulated or set up for success, which is going to create leaving it up to individuals for how they want to handle it, which then could create major problems, for an organization that is on its way to doing something special. But your point, too, about coaches having to manage this and figure out, like, did you opt out of a championship game completely? What's the ramification for doing that?
There are just lots of games being played, and it's a game of physical attrition. It is not basketball. Extra games mean a lot more than just fatigue. And you got to do something about this moving forward. It's an unintended consequence. But you think about, Texas. It's still mind-boggling to me that they got to the championship game in the league without playing all the teams, a lot of the better teams in the league. And then they get Clemson and Arizona State on their way to the semifinals. But, they're the one team that's left. And Georgia, I still think top to bottom is the best team in the league. But without their starting quarterback, everything changed.
Does Arkansas have a better chance that the SEC looks like it's leveled out a little bit, or does it get more difficult?
See, I think that's a good question, and I've heard 2 or 3 different opinions on that. I do think there are those who feel like that the leveling out does give Arkansas a better shot. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know. I do know this, that if you finish in the top 4 in the SEC, you're going to be knocking on the door of the playoff. And now that's a big climb. And they're not close to being 4th right now, or maybe not as close as they'd like to be. But, they're not light years away either.
Richard Davenport's going to join us later. He handles the recruiting and the portal world for the Arkansas Democrat
And it's
Gazette.
a different
And
world.
he's on the inside of understanding what's going on there. So I'm anxious to kind of hear how he thinks Arkansas is doing. I really want to hear how Bart thinks Arkansas is doing when we come back. We got to hit a break.
Yeah.
We are just waking up, and you are too. And we're glad you're here. 877-377-6963. You can text, you can call. It's January 6th. It's our dear friend's birthday. Jameis Winston, 31 years old today.
I know I'm better than this. I know. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
It's just a special day on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Chuck, I believe this is all your fault.
Yeah,
I believe
thank you.
All right, there we
Thank
go.
you. And it's because he doesn't have YouTube TV for starters.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
People everywhere, and then, next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Pascal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Hey, Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmer. And it's a great time to be a Razorback.
Embrace the home!
Whether it's a touchdown, a slam dunk, or a grand slam.
Big Susie, they were doing all the stuff. I went in there to get something to eat, and they're cheering. I'm like, what is going on here?
We're here with the excitement and insight you crave.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now, you know.
It's the Razorback Daily from the team at Sport and Store.
That might be our best episode ever.
Available wherever you listen to your podcast each morning.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You were still on the air when I went to sleep last night.
Yeah. Was that the last voice you heard?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
They had more offensive rebounds than we had rebounds. Come on. Yeah. Well, what is that? Is that some skill? That's fight. Fight.
John Calipari after the game. Chuck called
2
it.
2 seconds, 1 second. Outlet pass stolen by Gainey, and the ball game's over. The ball game's over, and Tennessee has won it in deciding fashion. The top-ranked Volunteers certainly looking the part today. They beat Arkansas by a final of 76-52.
Good call, Chuck. You nailed it. That's exactly what happened.
Tennessee's good, and I didn't foresee Arkansas being out-rebounded to that extent. I thought they might struggle some in league games in the rebounding department, but they got a lot of long rebounds. Their second chance points weren't that great. I mean, it was not like they scored after every offensive rebound, but they're keeping you from getting the ball. It's time that ticks away, and they get 2 or 3 cracks at it, even if they don't score. When they've got the big lead, keeps you from getting an opportunity to score.
Are fans concerned? Do we have a concern with Arkansas basketball? Or do you realize that, it's going to take time and there's a lot of good games that are on their schedule, and they started with the number one team in the country. And so you get exposed a little bit, but do you look at this team and go, man, this is not what I thought it was going to be? So really, I think it's one or two, right, of those things. Like you either don't think they are what they were going to be when you looked at it on paper, or you just think it's going to take time to develop, and they still got all the pieces, and they can beat. Because you're going to see a lot of those type games in this league. Like, that's not just, well, you played number one Tennessee, and now it's not going to be as difficult. I'm not saying everybody's Tennessee, but there's a lot more teams closer to Tennessee than not in this league.
No doubt. And they're all going to be physical. The two teams Arkansas, I think, has been, I hate to use the term pushed around, but just out-physicaled were the Illinois game and this game. Those were the games where you could really see the physical difference. Now, some of this does have to do with the fact that they've not been together very long. And because of the fact that they've had a little injury, nagging injury here, some illness there, they've just never had an opportunity, I don't think, to really feel like they've been to work with what they have every day. And if this team's going to be good, I suspect it'll be, a February thing. And that's going to be frustrating, I think, for a little bit. This is an important week. Ole Miss on Wednesday and then Florida on Saturday. The schedule's kind of weird this year in that from this point forward, you're going to play 2 home games, 2 road games, 2 home games, 2 road games. There's no split the rest of the way. I don't know why. But you got 2 home games back-to-back, and you got to protect the home floor. Lots of teams won at home over the weekend.
Bart loves college basketball.
I know he does.
He watches basketball that you and I couldn't even imagine watching.
Who'd you watch over the weekend? Did you watch any special game, Bart?
St. Mary's against Mount Union.
There were too many good games this weekend.
You watched Cleveland State play somebody.
I shouldn't say good games. I should say high-profile matchups because there weren't a lot of good games, as it turns out.
Right.
There were a lot of anticipated matchups, but what we found is that there are a lot of teams. There are a couple of teams that are really, really good, and everybody else is just behind them.
All right, well, tell us what you think about Arkansas.
Man, they better figure it out quick. That's the bottom line. Because, Chuck, to your point, it's not going to get easier. It's not going to get any less physical. This league is really good. And if you don't figure it out quickly, you're going to fall behind quickly. And anytime I look at a box score and see that one player on the opposing team had 18 rebounds, man, that better be some self-reflection going on. You can't.
It needs to be an anomaly.
Yeah, you can't let one guy have 18 rebounds. That's
There's 6 of them on the offensive end.
That's just. I'll say it. It's pitiful. That's pitiful. You give up 18 rebounds to one guy. That's
strong
pitiful.
word. So what does that mean? Pitiful.
It means that what I didn't see on Saturday was effort. I didn't see a team that was ready to go. I didn't see a team that was locked in, that was just chomping at the bit to get a shot at the number one team in the nation.
Well, I
saw
thought
a team
early.
that no-showed.
I thought early that was not the case, but I thought things weren't going their way, shots stopped falling, and then it kind of went from there. I think sometimes when things aren't going your way, it's easy to say, well, the effort isn't there, but it also is it feeds on itself. I mean, simply put, what I saw was a team that was as talented or more talented than Arkansas that executed on a much higher level.
Yeah,
I mean, they are a well-oiled machine, offensively. They're running stuff that just make you defend all the time. And then defensively, I mean, they are guarding the heck out of you.
Yeah.
And it's just a grind every possession on both ends. And that's and I mean, I don't pretend to say this is necessarily easy, but Arkansas's inability to guard the most basic play in basketball, the screen and roll at the top of the key, and dunk after dunk after dunk, that was concerning.
Yeah.
Having said that, if they just make some shots,
I think
if they just make some shots, they're in the game.
Well,
having said all that,
that was the biggest issue to me on Saturday. Look, Tennessee scored 76 points. Lots of times in college basketball, you hold the other team to 76 points, you win the game. Even with all those offensive rebounds, they scored 76 points. You know, when I look at Arkansas and when I look at the game on Saturday, there just weren't enough scoring threats. DJ Wagner and Boogie Fland were basically the guys that were scoring. And a lot of the things that Thero did in some of the previous games, you weren't able to do against Tennessee's front line. You know, the constant attacking of the rim, which, look, I like. I think it's great. But Tennessee can defend that better than a lot of people can. And, as Cal said after the game, it sounds simplistic. You don't have to make every shot, every three-point attempt, but, you can't miss all of them. And it just seemed like every time Arkansas needed a big shot, and sometimes they got open looks, but every time they needed a big shot, they'd miss. And I just thought that was one of the real keys Saturday. It was just, you only get points for putting it in the basket. And they made their first 4 shots, and then it was like, man, from that point on, everything, as you said, was a battle.
And that's, Chuck, where Nelly Davis comes in. Like, he looks like a shell of himself from the past couple of years.
He's lost his confidence.
And I know he's been injured. He's been dealing with that. But he's the guy who's got to emerge as that other scoring threat. Obviously, Boogie's great, and we all know what Boogie can do. DJ Wagner's been coming on strong. They've got other guys who can contribute some points. Thero's been good in that area. Carter Knox has had some good games lately. But we know what Nelly Davis can be, and this team needs him to be that version of Nelly Davis, or at least close to it, if they're going to have success in the SEC this year.
6:32, cold weather advisory this morning. Wherever you're getting up, it's cold all over the state. Be careful. In northwest Arkansas, the roads aren't bad, but there are some little spots at intersections or parking lots where you may find some ice, so be careful getting out and about on a really cold Monday morning, January 6th, the birthday of Jameis Winston and others, but he's America's favorite quarterback. 877-377-6963. We're brought to you by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, First Security Bank, Fayetteville Auto Park, Flight by Yingling, and Weikert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Chuck and Bo Show, good morning.
When they do that, they can hear our off-air conversations, and I always want to know whether or not anybody can hear us.
We know how you are off
I know.
air. It's something to be
I'm aware
of.
of that.
Yeah, it's something to be aware of.
I know.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling diamonds to classic watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for everyone on your list. Stop by Blakeman's and Rogers and let us help you make this holiday one to remember. Because at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry. It's your story. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Phelan Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Now, that's the greatest joys in life is when you get something awesome you don't expect. That's the greatest joys in life.
Like unplanned pregnancies. Those are joys.
That really wasn't what I was. No, I wasn't really going down that.
That's what I was thinking.
What am I going to do with you? Turn his mic off. Just turn his mic off. Just turn it off. I said turn it off. Who's the boss around here? Turn it off.
Weekdays from 9 to 11, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Great point, Bo.
Thank you.
I'm Chuck. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. I'm going to start taking credit. Like when you make a great point, I'm going to call myself
All
Chuck.
right, fair enough.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That's my New Year's resolution in 25.
I don't even remember what my resolution was last week. I'm sure it broke it.
Well, I don't either. I mean, I know what it was. It was get more sleep for you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
go to bed earlier.
Yeah.
I did go to bed earlier last night.
That's good.
But, just kind of worked out that way. I watched Landman, and then I went to bed.
Jerry Jones was on Landman. Maybe we'll play it for you later. Charlie's in Camden. Charlie, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. It's January 6th, Monday.
2025.
2025. That's where we are.
I'm still trying to figure out that it's 2025 too, bro. So don't feel bad. I still, when I go in there and do certain things, I'm still putting 2024. So
I just don't even know what day it is. Having Christmas in the middle of the week and then having New Year's in the middle of a week, and now it's like this is the first full week of 2025, and we're 6 days into it, and resolutions are out the window. Gym parking lots are empty.
It's cold. Yeah, mine got thrown out in 2 days. Like, I was going to, be less mad on the road and things like that. And then some guy decided to get in front of me and not turn his blinker on a couple of times. I mean, kind of said a few things I shouldn't have said. But, I wanted to touch on this game the other day. I think sometimes when you play a game and you look at a certain stat and you go, man, a lot of times you play a game, there's a lot of reasons why a team gets beat by that amount. But I'm just going to be honest, guys. We all know why they lost by 24 the other day. There's not – I mean, yeah, you missed a few free throws. Yeah, you didn't shoot it well. But you look at Tennessee's numbers. I mean, they did make 10 threes, but they didn't shoot the basketball particularly well. They just kept getting more and more attempts. I mean, it just came down to rebounding. That's what it came down to. Now, Chuck, I did want to ask this because I thought Arkansas – part of the reason why they were able to give Tennessee a bit of trouble, they were switching everything, right? The problem with that is you know, when that Milicic dude can get in there and get all those tap outs and, you know, because he's going against a guard or a whoever, you know, because, you know, that's what they did. That's what they do. I mean, they crash the glass. They find ways to get extra possession after possession after possession, and that was the game the other day. I mean, you can look at it. You're going to have to find a way to win some ugly games in this league. And you're going to have to find a way to play ugly because it's going to be nights where you don't shoot well or whatever, and that's how you have to play to win. And Arkansas just got I hate to say they didn't play hard. I just don't think – I think they're so used to getting out in the full court, you know, playing, you know, up and down that, you know, if you're only sending, you know, one or two guys to the glass and everybody else is trying to get out of there and run, you know, they're going to have to get used to playing certain teams that they're going to have to team rebound it, not just the bigs, everybody. You got to go crash the glass. I mean, it just is what it is. And when the ball's batted around or tapped out, guards, you got to come in and help. And that's just what happened the other day. They got whipped on the boards. It's as simple as that. To me, there really isn't any other stat that I go, wow, that's why they lost that one. I mean, they got just absolutely manhandled. It's as simple as that. Yeah. And that's what makes these home games very important, these next two. You got to protect home court. I know they're good teams everywhere in this league, but you have got to protect home court.
Yeah, it's hard to say this is a must-win, but in Game 2 of the SEC schedule, but it's a pretty important game. And look, I think we all understand, like if you watch any basketball at all, if you get out-rebounded like they did, almost more offensive rebounds than you had rebounds total, you're going to have a very difficult time winning the game.
I think the most important thing for this team right now is to get better. And I know that sounds really simplistic, but it's not about, and I know people are going to disagree with this, it's not about winning the SEC regular season championship. It's just not. It's nice to say that. It's not, oh, they're going to fall behind. They're not going to have a chance to catch up. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing is preparing yourself for what's going to happen in February, because that sets up where you are in March. And when you throw all these pieces together that they've thrown together in a short amount of time, the idea that they're going to be good in January is a little bit far-fetched. Doesn't mean you can't improve as the month goes on, and I think they will. They must. Yes, it's an important week, but not from the standpoint of, oh, my gosh, if we don't win both these games, we're out of the race. So what? Prepare yourself for what's happening when you get to the stretch drive, because if this team's going to make hay, that's when it's going to happen.
They've got the pieces. The pieces have to become who they are, what they are, what their potential is. I mean, it's there. They've got the players. It's not like you look at the roster and say, well, they're just not good enough. With the exception of Nelly, because you just don't know, because you're surprised what you've gotten so far. You're not sure what's going to happen the rest of the way. But I would like to think that a guy of that caliber is going to figure it out, and he'll do exactly what you were just describing.
I think we'll see players as the season goes on and the games get bigger and more important. I think you'll see the cream rise to the top, not just here, but everywhere. You know, a lot of these players that have transferred to other schools, they were attractive in the transfer portal because they led their teams deep in the NCAA tournament. I wonder sometimes, kind of like the pros, do you get as excited in the middle of January as you do in the middle of March? I don't know the answer to that. But I would think that you might get more excited in March.
One of these things about rebounding, too, it's just kind of funny, is we have talked about it over the years. Like, when you've had teams that don't rebound particularly well. And I don't, like, sometimes the ball just bounces to the other team. Like, it just does. But Arkansas had 10 blocks in that game. I don't know how many of those blocks turned into rebounds for Tennessee, for example. Sometimes you just don't shoot it well. So it's just going to be interesting to see. I mean, we've obviously seen moments when this team, in their 3 losses now, they just don't look like they've figured it out yet. But I don't look at that game on Saturday and get all concerned like, man, I just don't think these guys have it. I see issues, but I think they're fixable. 877-377-6963. Hogs lost to Tennessee over the weekend. We're just all kind of getting back here into like 2025 routine, work week mode. We can talk about whatever you want today, but that's the most recent event. We got the playoffs. By the way, the playoffs too long. Do we like the format? Do we like where we are? Do we think like it is what we thought it was going to be, or is it not? We'll get into all this. When we come back, it's 6:46. It's cold. It's a cold weather advisory, officially, from the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
You never know what just happened to him that day. He could have accidentally dialed up an ED hotline while trying to call one of his hookers.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell him you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Scion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, 16 years in the industry. How do people see what you've made over the years, Cecil?
Google or Yahoo it or Bing it. Jazzco Graphics Design, JAAZCO, Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And sometimes I'm here after. So if that open sign is on, I'm here. Y'all come on in. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Can I just tell you, I love getting to know you.
Yeah, whatever.
It's been such a good year getting to know you.
Yeah, well,
I'm really looking forward to 25.
Imagine how much fun it's been for me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show brought to you in part by Flight by Yuengling. For those who don't follow trends, but you craft them, your ice-cold flight is awaiting. It's premium light beer, 2.6 grams of carbs, 95 calories, 4.2% ABV. It is Yuengling. Tastes like Yuengling, but it's a light beer. It's really remarkable. Your ice-cold flight is awaiting. Don't just raise a glass, raise a flight by Yuengling. So what do we think about the playoffs so far? We're all kind of back together now. We've been all over the place. People have been on vacation or traveling or just busy or whatever. Maybe you're getting back in the routine of this conversation in the morning. We've had the playoff. We were excited about the playoff. Now we've got 4 teams left. Has the playoff so far delivered, or are you actually getting a little fatigued by it?
See, I think that's an interesting question, and I want to get into this some of the next hour. There have been points during this playoff where I've thought to myself, is this all there is? Is this it? I mean, is this what we've been clamoring for 30 years?
It would just take longer to get to the 4 teams?
Is this the best we can do? Or, as you said, have we just prolonged the inevitable? I don't know. Around these parts, I think that there's the fact that there's not an SEC team that we even begin to feel remotely comfortable rooting for. I mean, you can't root for Texas. Whereas if, one of the other SEC teams is playing, you might. You have a little conference pride. Plus, I think, you look at it and say, well, Texas doesn't have a prayer against Ohio State.
Are we wrong? Were we wrong about how good the SEC is or was this year? Because I recall midway through the season, we were like, man, which one of these SEC juggernauts is going to roll the competition in the playoff?
Is the SEC too big and too good for its own well-being?
Or have people caught up?
I don't know.
What are you looking at?
Cannibalizing each other.
I'm just looking at the bracket and thinking, my thing with the playoff is it's just taking too long.
Well, you've had games that were unnecessary.
It's just way too spread out. It's not like the NFL playoff where it's week after week after week. Like, let's go.
Well, also, if you're a team that's still playing, I mean, just because of my job right now doing a show with the playoff, I'm looking at these teams. The teams that are still in will have gone to like 3 bowl games. They got to go to all this pomp and circumstance
so silly.
3 times.
So silly.
Like quarterfinals, semifinals, and then the national championship. And it's like, when do I arrive? What activities do I really want to protect? How many times can I do a bowl game in the postseason? 6:55, Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Pascal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A great pair. Really honored that you guys are doing this, listening over here in Jonesboro.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, cold air is going to stick with us for the next couple of days. Partly to mostly sunny skies today. Upper 20s north, mid 30s south with winds up to 30 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, mid to upper teens overnight, and sunshine back with us on Tuesday. A high low 30s north, upper 30s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at Sawyers-sunrooms.com.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new ultra matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Chuck is deathly afraid of his identity being stolen.
I am. I'm to the age now where I watch Dateline NBC, and it's like, I'm never using my debit card again. I do. I worry about it because
Chuck's
I'm
got
stupid.
bundles of
because
cash.
I'm stupid. I'm
He
stupid.
calls American Airlines and he goes, "How do I pay cash?"
That's exactly right. I got this
You
mayonnaise
are not
jar
getting my
full of money.
information. Those cookies are all over me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
Ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
We are advising you this morning that it's cold. It is a cold weather advisory today. And
Officially cold.
It is it's going to hit you when you walk outside this morning.
It's
pretty hard.
A little windy too in spots.
Yeah, it's windy.
And it's
real feel 2 degrees
really,
right now in Northwest Arkansas.
Cold all over the state.
Yeah,
I mean, if you get to 20, you're lucky.
It's back to reality today,
It's,
people.
Man, just wow. What has happened the last 2 weeks?
Well,
Christmas in the middle of the week, New Year's in the middle of the week. What day is it? It's January 6th, 2025. It's Monday.
We have taken the last 2 weeks, we've used the fact that Christmas and New Year's were on Wednesdays. We've used that as an excuse to just check out both weeks. Or maybe that's just me. But I think
there's part
it's just
checking out
weird the
and
way
part
it's
not
been.
sure what your routine's off.
Well,
Things are messed
Thursday
up.
felt like Monday. You know, because we had Wednesday off. I know you were out jet setting in L.A. Time was of no issue to you. But for the rest of us, you know, it was strange because you woke up Thursday morning. It's like, geez, it feels like a Monday. And you skip from Monday to Friday and bang, 2 days off. And here we are.
Yeah,
again.
I don't like. I'm struggling. I've gone across a couple time zones: New York to L.A. to Penn State to Dallas coming up. To
Okay, Dallas.
Atlanta.
That was what my question was going to be. Are you going to Dallas or are you going to Miami?
No, I'm going to Dallas.
Okay.
I'd go to Miami if I was given the choice.
I was asked to maybe go to both, and I said no.
Yeah.
I politely declined.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I could change, but I said no.
No, I don't think I'll go to the playoff game. I'm tired.
I don't want to go to Miami if I have a choice. I don't want to go to Miami on Thursday night and then go to Dallas on Friday night.
The troubles you face.
I'm getting old.
The trouble
This is
depending on how things
harder
go,
than you think.
Depending on how things go this week, can you get me into Atlanta? Can you get me? Depending on how things go this weekend.
I have a Vivid Seats account just like everybody else does.
Let me say this about the playoff. I want to be excited about it. We were talking about this in the last hour. But I hate all the teams that are left. I just hate them all. I've never rooted for them ever in my life.
It's tough.
Ever.
This whole thing is turned. It was supposed to be so exciting. And it is to the fan bases that are involved. But we've also gone from, I don't know, a feeling of, man, who's going to win this thing, to clearly Ohio State's going to win it all. And they're going to kill everybody in the process. And it's not going to be close. At least that's what the betting world at Oaklawn Sports app right now wants you to believe. I mean, they're a minus 143, and everybody else is plus 500 or more. They're a prohibitive favorite now. So not only did we not get all this drama, it's gotten worse as we've gone on. It looks like one team is way better than the other ones.
Well, we're either going to have to root for three teams from a locale we generally don't root for teams from, or we got to pull for Texas. And I just can't go there. I just can't.
I'm with you, Chuck.
I cannot. And the prospect of watching Ohio State and Notre Dame play for the national championship, and it's blasphemy that you would have something like that happen.
Okay. Yeah, let me ask you. I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but it struck me this morning, and so I looked it up. And what struck me was, do we even know who wins the national championship every year? Do we even remember?
I don't remember.
Do we even remember?
Well, Bart does, but
I guess part of how I arrive here is what's so different about this playoff. And then last year, you also had something different for SEC fans in that Michigan played Washington for the national champion. Yeah. Washington was in the national. Do you remember that? That Washington, if I had asked you, who did Michigan play for the national championship,
Michael
how
Penix
many
Jr.
people would remember that? Okay, who won the year before Michigan did last year?
Georgia.
And who won the year before that?
Also Georgia.
And who won the year before that in the year 2020 of our Lord?
Alabama.
And who won the year before that?
LSU, Joe Burrow.
And who won in 2018?
Alabama or Clemson?
Clemson. Who won in 2017?
Alabama.
Who won in 2016?
Clemson.
Who won in 2015?
Alabama.
Who won in 2014?
Alabama.
Ohio State. Who won in 2013?
Alabama.
Florida State. One more time. Who won in 2012?
2012 was definitely Alabama.
And 11.
And 11.
Yeah. In 2010, it was Auburn. In 2009, it was Alabama. I mean, we can go all the way back. But, like, we're a lot of SEC teams in there.
That was impressive.
That was impressive.
That was
just
real.
I mean, but as I was asking you,
last week.
yeah, I'm telling you, I don't think most people remember. I know I don't.
Yeah.
Like, I have to think about it. You just kind of move on. But here's another maybe not so subtle point there. The same teams win. The same teams have been winning forever. And it's probably going to be Ohio State again. Michigan was an exception. That was a long time coming for those guys. But also you could point to all kinds of things that got Jim Harbaugh a show cause that he can't coach in college. and they won.
Kind of cheated.
But they won.
Well, the biggest issue with this is there is no Cinderella. And there's never going to be.
Well, Michigan's a blue blood, but they're a more recent winner to this group.
Yeah.
But those are all the same teams right there.
Right.
With rare exception.
But like right now, for example, we look at the four teams that are left, hate them all.
But Penn State, Texas, and Notre Dame, all three have not won a national championship anytime recently.
Yeah, whatever. But the point is there's no one for us to root for. There is no Cinderella. If Arizona State had knocked off Texas, well, the nation would be pulling for Arizona.
We don't have America's team.
There is no team out there to root for. There are teams that literally, most of us, if you're a Big Ten fan, unless you're an Ohio State fan, how many times in your life have you pulled for Ohio State? Never. The whole world roots against Notre Dame, or they root for them. There's not a lot of common ground right there. Penn State, unless you're a Penn State fan, Nationally, you don't root for Penn State. There's nothing, that's attractive about, what they do. And Texas is the bluest of the blue. They're perceived as having an arrogant fan base. Whether that's true or not, it's for everybody to decide themselves. But the point is these are 4 teams that everybody loves to hate. And there's not a Cinderella out there, and there's just not going to be. Once every, 10 years, you might have an upset or two, but they're going to be the exception rather than the rule.
So where does that leave us? Go ahead, Mark.
So Chuck, to your point about Cinderella, the last time a school that I think we would consider to not be a blue blood of college football, and I'm considering Tennessee to be a blue blood of college football. I mean, they're a traditionally, historically great SEC
They're a
team.
light blue.
Yeah.
They're
sure.
pale blue.
Sure. You've got to go back to 1990. Do you know who won the national title in 1990?
Nebraska?
Well, I consider them a blue blood.
Well, all right. Brigham Young?
Colorado.
Okay, that's right.
1990 Colorado, the last time a school that you wouldn't consider to be a traditional college football powerhouse won a national title. So, like, to your point, it's not going to happen.
So if you're running any other athletic department, or you're a head football coach at any other school than these blue bloods, what are you doing?
Trying to make money.
What are you doing?
Figuring out how to cheat.
I mean, like, seriously, how do you change? Because here's what we know. College in our country, right next to the NFL, the most passionate fans are what? College football fans. Okay, and across the pond, it's a different kind of football. But here, that's the thing.
Football's king.
So you got all these fans that are passionate, diehards, want it so bad, and it ain't ever happening. And I don't, this is kind of a rough way to start 2020.
Wow, just ruined the whole year for us, man.
Jeez. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you other than this is the historical data. But everybody wants it to change. Everybody thinks it should change.
I want some alternative facts.
And going into the year, yeah, you do. I mean, but just let's use Ole Miss as an example. They were the team this year that went out and made all the moves and spent all the money, just poaching players, and
they're still doing it.
Yeah, and it didn't happen. And I don't know, maybe it'll happen next year. But the reality is, this 12-team playoff at this point got us pretty much what you get most years, except you probably would have had Georgia as one of these 4 teams, not Texas. If we had your traditional 4-team playoff. But 12 basically delayed the inevitable, and it's kind of chalk again. Now, look, it's year 1, so maybe some things will change if they fix the seeding issue, they fix the the bye issue. But I don't like a Cinderella running the table.
Cinderella will not run the table in football. The only way you're going to have what we would call an upset is if you seed this thing with the 12 best teams in the country. Forget all this conference championship stuff. Forget all that stuff. 1 through 12. Now, if you do that, I don't think you're going to have a 12 beating a 1, but I think you'll have maybe from time to time a 9 beating a 4, a 10 beating a 3. I could see that happening. But that's the only way you're going to have upsets. If you do it the way you've done it this year, it is going to be chalk until now, or from now to the end of time. And it's not going to sell with people year after year after year. Just like when Alabama played LSU in the national championship games. SEC people loved it. Rest of America hated it. The numbers weren't all that great. You're not going to be able to do this year after year after year and have chalk every single year. You're going to have some upsets, or this thing is not going to be as popular as it is right now.
I will say people are watching the playoffs.
No question.
They're averaging 16.9 million viewers in the quarterfinals. The Rose Bowl had 21 million. The Peach Bowl had 17. Sugar Bowl had 16. Fiesta Bowl had 14 million people watching. People are watching the
I'm
games.
not trying to poke holes in it. I'm looking at it long term.
I hear you.
In 1998, the powers, I guess it was before 98, but in 98, the powers that be in college football decided that the national championship game, the winner of the national championship would be decided on the field instead of just voted on by pollsters. That changed everything. From that moment on, Cinderella in college football was dead because in football is just different than basketball.
We try
and
to
the most
create it.
talented teams, the best teams are going to win. The best programs are going to win. In college basketball is a totally different sport. It's 5-on-5. Anything can happen. It's a game of runs. That's not what football is. And that's why it's never going to happen in football again. Boise State is not winning the national championship.
So
ever.
here's my question. Changing the playoff to 12 teams, I'll make a statement. It leads to so many more negative season endings because if you get in the playoff, your season ends on a loss. You got all this stuff going, you're not going to win. There's this, I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but here's where I'm trying to go. The bowl system actually led to ending the season with a good feeling. If you won 8 games and you go to a nice bowl, you feel good. You don't sit around and go, man, we suck. We're never winning a national championship. For most schools, because most schools realize they're not winning a national championship. There's like 6 or 8 that even have a shot every year. But now we've created this system, which I'm for. Like, I wanted the playoff, and I'm interested to see how it evolves and what happens. But this idea, like, of what are you okay with? As a fan, if you're not Ohio State or one of these SEC, any of these blue bloods we've been talking about that we just rattled through that have won national championships lately or have this big tradition like Notre Dame, if you're not one of those schools, what do you root for every year? 877-377-6963. We got to take a break. Back in a minute on the Chuck and Bo Show. Brought to you in part by First Security Bank, the official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show, member FDIC.
Good morning, Hog Country. I travel with my work, so I'm on the road a lot. So you guys are on my station.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Wanker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Wanker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
There's people everywhere, and then, next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnumcosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
And Hog Noxious, our listeners just don't let us down. He said, Chuck, explain it to them. Smash or trash by saying swipe right or left.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
For hard work and the great outdoors.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Do you enjoy lunch with me?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's not any better than anybody else's lunch or anything like that, but I mean, it's all right.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
How's that for a ringing endorsement?
I'll just be clear, I'm a winner.
I'll tell you that.
Mike McCarthy.
You want to go lunch with me? I'm going to tell you about me.
I'll just be clear, I'm a winner.
Yeah, tell me about you.
Yeah, well,
Let's go to lunch and get to know each other. I'll start.
I'll just be clear, I'm a winner.
That's the first thing Bo said when we sat down for our first lunch. We started talking about this show. Well, let's go to lunch.
Yeah.
We sit down, Bo, hey, first thing, I'm a winner.
Yeah, and then I ordered a martini.
Yeah. Chocolate martini.
And a
at
sea
that.
bass.
Yeah, some sea
And
bass.
I'll just be clear, I'm a winner.
Yeah. Well,
Chilean
tell me
sea
about
bass.
you. I think maybe that's a good way to do 25. Like when you meet people, sit down and just say.
I'll just be clear, I'm a winner.
And then tell me about you. That's about me. Tell me about you.
You know who's no longer a winner? Doug Peterson. The Jaguars have just fired him. Breaking news.
Well,
Breaking news.
Mike
Second
McCarthy
coach.
make it through the day, Bart? Mike McCarthy survived the day?
Probably.
Dan Campbell immediately called Doug Peterson.
You guys look like you remember who the you are.
So that's something Doug, remember who you are. So two things: be a winner and remember who you are. Those are our life lessons. We're going to start doing that in 2025. Every show, a couple of nuggets, a couple of life lesson nuggets. There's today's nuggets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then you go right from that. Did you have something?
I was going to say second NFL coach to be fired since the end of the season yesterday, Gerard Mayo of the Patriots.
He lasted a year.
Yeah. Did not go well.
Bill Belichick's replacement.
Did not go well.
Reach for comment. Bill said I'm at North Carolina.
That's right. I mean, 25
Mike Vrabel's going to be the guy there, I bet.
Probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, Eddie's in Clarksville. Eddie, it's 2025. Officially 2025. I don't know if it's really been 25 for like 5 days, but today it is.
Good morning, gentlemen. When you talk about these playoffs, you know, I guess we should root for a team that's in a conference, but no way from Eddie from Clarksville root for Texas. I just grew up with that rivalry.
I'm with you, Eddie.
Versus the Woo Pig Suit.
I'm with you.
You know,
I feel that.
so I'll go with the Irish. The luck of the Irish. You know, I love sports movies. You know, so it's been cold this weekend, and I cranked out Rudy. You know what I mean? So
Rudy,
I think if it'd be interesting if Notre Dame wins it with defense. Not much offense, but boy, tenacious defense. Old school football. Let me say this. So let's get to our basketball program.
Are you rooting also for Ohio State because they play Texas first?
To say it was a tough day in Knoxville is an understatement. Let me say this. I realized you were playing the number one team in the country. And I tried to get the team pumped up. I knew it was going to be a tough task. But I expect this program to be competitive. You know where you lost the game at? There's no physicality about this basketball team. I have to keep in mind, even under Eddie Sutton and Coach Richardson, physicality was part of the game. And even then, they took them a couple. You just go back to Coach Sutton. He's hired in 1974, and then really in 78, it really took off. And same thing with Coach Richardson. First year or two, not so good. But, then it took off. But I look at the physicality. When I talk about physicality, the difference is there's no – and it's not it. Let me say this, too. Brazil never has been physical. He's more of a finesse player. That leaves Theo. I mean, we get out rebounded by 30. When you talk about it, nearly 30. I mean, we get out rebounded by nearly 30. And you talk about physicality, and then you have no scoring. Then you go to the line, and you break them. I'll tell you this. I realize as I look at all the teams this weekend, when I look at Auburn, when I look at Alabama, when I look at Kentucky, and when I look at Tennessee, even Ole Miss, and you look at Florida, we play Ole Miss and Florida this week, and even though Florida lost against Kentucky, I mean, it was a battle to the end. Let me say this. You protect home court. If you were colder than this Arctic blast, you better go to Miami and bring some heat back to our home court when Ole Miss comes in and wins it. I'll tell you what you're going to do. You know what you're going to do? They're going to play physical with you. Now, you don't get out rebounded at home. And here's another thing. You better find some scoring somewhere because I'm not just one player. Because if that's your game, we'll be struggling to get maybe 5 to 8 wins this year. And if I were throwing a dart, bring this recipe that you brought to Knoxville. It's going to be a tough year. Let me say this. That's the physicality. Remember, say this. Get physical. Hit them boards. And I tell you what, Brazil, the visit, you better get physical. Because if you don't, I mean, all the teams, our best teams, we come of a program rich in tradition. You always have that inside presence. You talk about Big Joe Klein, Andrew Lang, Big O, Big Nasty. And you've got to protect home court. And if you don't do that, it's going to be a tough year. Thank you for taking my call, gentlemen.
Thank you, Eddie. How did he do on the stat sheet there?
It was a rough day on the stat sheets.
He was all over the road.
Yeah. Only 4, let me say this.
Yeah.
No other stats. One rich in tradition.
Barely between the ditches.
Yep.
He was all over the road.
He was fired up. He did not want to have a conversation. I was trying to engage.
No, he had no interest in that.
And then he asked a question. Did you hear him ask? He asked a rhetorical question in there. Do you know why they lost?
Well, here's the thing. I know there are a lot of fans around the state that I'm not going to say they would have said it quite like Eddie did, but they weren't thrilled to death with the way things went. I don't think the coach was thrilled to death, and I don't think the players were thrilled to death. I would expect them to be challenged today. I mean, I would expect today to be a challenging day from a practice standpoint, and these are important games this week.
They had more offensive rebounds than we had rebounds. Come on. Well, what is that? Is that some skill? That's fight. Fight. They had more. You're in there and you can't rebound, you can't be in. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at an assistant coach. Just rebound or someone else has to play.
That's the head coach. One more.
And what we showed is we kind of got manhandled. Yeah. And up and down the line.
I expect them to learn from it, get better. Do they have?
I don't think this is going to be a regular occurrence.
Well,
First
that's
off,
the
I think
question.
Tennessee's really good.
They are.
I think they're as good as Illinois. Those are the two best teams I've seen.
Here's the thing that's different in basketball is you hired Cal, you go out and get this amazing roster, and your expectations are high. So when you play the best teams in the country, you expect to play with them. You expect to be right there. The reality is this team doesn't appear to have hit its stride. And that shows up when they play really good teams. So is it going to get them better? And to Chuck's point, do they become more of what the expectation is under Cal in February and into March? Do they become more of that? Or do we see more of what we're seeing? 877-377-6963. It's way more important to get there in mid-February to March than it is now. And if you get there, I think you end up being okay with that as a fan. Just like Ohio State fans are realizing maybe winning the national championship is more important than beating Michigan. Although I'm not sure if they all understand that. I'm sure. I think there's. I mean, Ryan Day was fired after Paul Feinbaum, among others, saying on ESPN that if he lost in the first round of the playoffs, he should be fired at midfield. Now they're the prohibitive favorite to win the national championship. And we are prisoners of the moment all the time. And it's okay. Like, we can react to what's happening in real time. But when we move forward 6 weeks from now, that's the real reaction. That's the one that matters. That's where you judge the season, right?
God, I hate all these teams.
In the playoff?
I just hate them.
You can't get past
I can't
it.
get past
Are you gonna
that.
watch? See, here's what's going to happen. You're going to watch the games, and you are just like anybody else. You can't avoid this.
I won't watch the whole game.
At some point during the game, you're going to start subconsciously rooting for one team or the other. You don't know who it is yet.
I know, you're
but
right.
When the game starts, it's impossible to watch a game.
I know.
And not sort of lean into
I
one
don't
side
know.
or the other.
I cannot see myself, in all honesty, I cannot see myself for any of these four teams having just the natural course of the ball game lead my heart in their direction. I cannot foresee that. Penn State, Notre Dame, are you kidding me?
We should do a live stream.
Are you kidding me?
We should do a live stream of you watching the games.
Well, I mean,
Like a
halfway through the
Barstool,
second
like a-
quarter, I'll be over on 2.5 Men.
Maybe
reruns.
Inside Arkansas could have you on for a live stream of the game.
I'm going to be out of there, man.
That'd be great.
I
I'd
did
watch
not
that.
have the first sitcom of 2025 mentioned on the Chuck and Bo show
Well,
being 2.5
I'm
Men.
just saying that it's going to have to be a pretty compelling
The first
game. or
TV
I'm-
show at all.
I'm going for the reruns.
Yeah.
That was my point. That was the point I was making.
A lot to think
I
about.
Gonna have to
understand
be
the point. I
interesting.
just
A lot to think about.
Yeah.
A lot to
was not a
contemplate.
bet on that.
7:32, an Arctic blast, as Eddie called it, is upon us. It's cold. Good morning.
I'm not telling you that everything's great. I'm also not willing to say everything's terrible.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling diamonds to classic watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for everyone on your list. Stop by Blakeman's in Rogers and let us help you make this holiday one to remember. Because at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry. It's your story. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
You say, well, that's a tough thing to say. Well, we live in a tough world.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Building warriors.
Physical toughness and physicality matter more now than ever before.
Competing for each other.
You can care about the kids and still win.
Upholding the Hogs standard.
Whatever we do, we'll have good people who are driven and wired, knowing that there's an expectation here and not being afraid of it.
This is one of those Razorback moments.
Follow John Calipari in Arkansas on the hardwood all season long.
Right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Looking to build your own field of dreams? Trust the experts at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. With over 30 years of experience, we turn blueprints into reality, ensuring top quality craftsmanship in every project. From homes to commercial spaces, our dedicated team makes your vision come to life. Choose Tucker Construction and Remodeling, where your dreams are built to last. Call us today at 650-6453 or visit tuckercr.com. My Tucker Construction, building your field of dreams.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Hi, this is Truett Tollett with WT Equipment. We're here to help you get ready for the year ahead. Take advantage of our small engine shop special. Just $129 to service your mower or handheld equipment, any brand. Don't wait, this offer ends February 28th. While you're here, check out New Holland Tractors, Bobcat Equipment, and more. Tough, reliable, and ready to work as hard as you do. Visit any of our locations or online at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment. Equip your future, elevate your potential.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics. What makes you unique from other stores in the area?
I try to build a great relationship with all of my customers. I can do just anything, from cars to food trucks to signs, banners. I do a lot of custom this and that. I'll say 100% of anybody come in here, they leave out happy. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Well, I got to go to the bank. I got to go to the cleaner. I mean, just errands. Errands. Things like that. Stuff you have people to do for you. Stuff I have to do myself.
There it is.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah.
Staff.
Oh, yeah.
Full staff.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, go pick up my dry cleaning today. Go wash my car.
Why don't you just do your laundry, Chuck? Why do you got to drop everything off for the dry cleaners?
Take your dog to the vet.
I used to be bougie like that.
Yeah.
Then I ran out of money, so now I just do my own laundry.
Whatever. Whatever.
How was your weekend? I took down the Christmas tree and the decorations.
Well, I spent Saturday in Knoxville. Got in Saturday night.
You did, didn't you?
Yesterday, I didn't do anything. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't do anything. I waited on the snow. And, I did go to Walmart in the morning. I mean, it's Sunday, Arkansas. I got to go to Walmart.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was pretty much a day of nothingness.
Yeah. I
hope you can't tell that this morning.
Well, I've noticed just sort of a lack of, just sort of bringing. You promised to bring your life to the show. You're like, listen, one of the things that can carry the show is my
life is boring now.
And
my life is boring.
All the exciting things I do.
You're the one that
well,
lives
what else
the
did you
exciting
do this
life.
weekend? You took down Christmas, you said.
He's been in L.A. Had to come back.
I went to the gym on Saturday morning.
There you go.
Got the Christmas stuff done on Saturday day. I don't remember what happened the rest of Saturday day. Watched games, ran some errands. Sunday went to church, went to lunch. Drove 400 or 500 miles around town as the dad Uber. This weekend. Kids they got to go places.
Right.
Just dad stuff. That's what I did pretty much all weekend.
Speaking of dad stuff, you guys watch Landman, don't you?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I saw.
I'm watching this last night. You got that clip?
Oh, I'm gonna find it.
He's talking about. He's talking to one of the characters played by John Hamm, who is like on his deathbed, basically. And Jerry's essentially having one of these get right with the Lord conversations with him. And it was an interesting part of the show, and one that I think maybe for those of us who are kind of blew you away.
Very real.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I've done anything right, but I made my mind up a long time ago. I was going to work with my kids. They're involved in everything. They're involved in my leasing, oil and gas, real estate. And so when I got to Cowboys, I got it so that we could all work together. I thought I was doing it for them, but the one that got the most out of it was me. I just know it's not going to be this time, but you're going to be sitting here sometime in the future, laying here sometime in the future. And this room's going to be full of your business associates and the people you've worked with all your life. And more than likely, your children and family are going to be there because they're your children and your family. But you could have them there because they're the people you spent your life with, you worked with, you fell down with, you got up with. Not just Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's who you want to be with. So when that time comes like this, it's a celebration of your life, and you're not wishing you'd spend a little more time seeing a few more sons come up. That's the trick. That's the trick. Because that's going to be your glory. But I'm pretty proud of them Cowboys. I'm pretty proud of the stuff we've done in oil and gas. It pales in comparison to how proud I am to have lived my life working with my kids.
Pretty good stuff.
There was
pretty deep and meaningful.
I look forward to Sundays.
Pretty real.
So I can watch the latest episode of Landman.
Yeah.
And lots of times they'll have celebrities, non-acting celebrities on these shows, and it's clumsy. You can tell the lines have been memorized, but that's about it. They're not particularly well delivered. There was a point, and it didn't take very long. I mean, you realize that he's not acting anymore. And the choke in his voice is not for dramatic effect. It's real. And now, you can think whatever you want to about Jerry Jones, owner, general manager, whatever. But that's probably the most real moment that I've heard from Jerry Jones in a long, long time. Because, again, even though it was part of a television show, he was not acting. Or if he was, it was very easy for him.
That sounds just like him.
Absolutely.
Like for those of us who have seen him a lot
sounds
over the
like
years
Coach Broyles
and heard him talk, he's a very positive person. And the way he spoke about his family and his kids and all that there, I think he really means it.
Oh, no question.
And so I would pose this question, and this is deep, and that's okay. We're 6 days into 2025 before everybody gets jaded. Let's just do it now. What is success? Like for him, to be able to own the Dallas Cowboys and work with your family, your kids, and have them involved in all this type stuff and do that all the time. I mean, yeah, winning games is great and all that, but do you envy that a little bit? Like, not in a bad way, but do you just look at that and say, that's something to achieve? Like, that's what's better than that?
Well, there's a lot of truth in everything that he said. The difference in Jerry Jones' situation and someone who owns a family business and works with their children every day is Jerry Jones owns a public asset. It's a private business, but it's a public asset. And public assets need to do well to remain public assets. Yes, when you break down the personal aspect of what he said, absolutely. I mean, how can you argue with a single word that he said? But I also think there is the responsibility when you manage a public asset or a public asset like that. And look, I think he understands that. Don't get me wrong. And I thought it was a very poignant moment on a television show. He's an interesting guy, and there aren't very many out there like Jerry Jones.
That's for sure.
That way.
That's for sure. Is he going to keep Mike McCarthy?
My gut tells me no.
I'll just be clear. I'm a winner.
Yeah. My gut tells me that Mike McCarthy's a short-timer. I may be wrong, but my gut tells me he's out.
So here's the full context to the Mike McCarthy comment of I'm a winner. How about Mike McCarthy stepping to the podium after the game and getting this question?
Coach, Sydney Staples, DG10 Sports. You mentioned that you're a builder, but is there anything else you feel that you specifically bring of value to the Cowboys organization?
Good Lord.
Come back here after your contract.
Wow. How do you answer that?
I understand why you ask the questions. I don't like to talk about myself that way, but I'll just be clear. I'm a winner. I know how to win. I've won a championship. I won a championship in this building, and that's who I am. So, and we'll see where it goes.
How would you like that question today? Like at lunch, you're just like, "Hey, Edward, why don't you come down here? Let's talk. What value besides whatever do you think you're bringing to the organization?"
Right. That's like your new boss. You've worked somewhere 20 or 30 years, and you got a new boss, and he sits you down and says, "Can you write down exactly what you do for us?" Right. it's like, oh man,
that's
I'm
office
I'm
space.
dead man.
What
walking,
exactly
man.
would you say you do here?
Yeah. That's when you know you're in trouble.
I'm always a little taken aback with people that ask questions that I wouldn't ask, like just in casual conversation. How much money do you make, Chuck?
That's a stupid question that girl asked.
But you know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Like some people are just willing to ask questions and they don't even think about it. You're like, I would never think to even go there. Bart, how much money do you make? Like he's sitting.
Well,
how about you, Bart? How much money do you make?
You want to know why coaches get mad? You want to know why coaches get mad? Because they have kids in the back of the room saying that other than being a builder, what exactly do you bring to the Cowboys organization? Now, you got a guy that's won in NFL championships. He may not be in the midst of the greatest run right now, but he's forgotten more football than respectfully that young lady will ever know, or that I would know, or that anybody in this room would know. And he's got to sit there and maintain some sort of decorum and answer a moronic question like that. It's no wonder these guys go nuts. But the minute they do, then, they talk about how they're falling apart. But, look, Cowboys haven't won enough, and I don't think it's Mike McCarthy's fault. But if they keep him, I don't know how you sell this thing. I just don't know how you sell this thing.
877-377-6963. I encourage you to open some conversation today with this.
I'll just be clear. I'm a winner.
And then look at that person and say, what is it you do? 747, good morning.
That's the actual question. What the hell's going on around here?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
Insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
I want to make a couple of points here because I have the floor.
All of it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Here's a saying for you. We live in a microwavable society. Everybody wants everything, just like put it in the microwave and there it is.
It's also national. Yeah, I was going to say.
What
was that voice? Pseudo Lou Holtz. That was pseudo Lou Holtz.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Man, the HR department looks busy at Fox Sports today. Holy smokes.
I was just reading that. I've been in the dark.
I
have no idea. I had no idea this was going on. I didn't know.
Apparently, there's rumors that a lot of things have been in the dark. But
well, I guess so.
I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't want to get into it from here. But
lawsuits.
Let's not. Let's just not.
I think I said it best. The HR department appears to be busy.
Yep.
At Fox Sports.
That'll do.
Inter-office relations will.
That'll do.
Yeah. Why do we shy away from these things, Bart? Why do you not want to talk about it?
Well, you know,
everybody's afraid.
I'm just trying to keep us on the air.
Yeah, they got a lawsuit going on, and Skip Bayless is alleging that,
In other news, Rashad Binion is committed to App State.
And Anton Junkosh is declared for the NFL draft.
Well, I'm surprised by that.
I was a little
he doesn't
surprised.
Seem like a player that would get drafted.
He was hurt a lot of the season. He had 16 sacks at Albany before he came here.
I don't know. People making decisions all over the place out there. Richard Davenport's been on it. He's going to tell us how Arkansas is doing. The transfer portal's back open.
Yeah.
What kind of roster has Arkansas put together? How is it netted out
It's
in
going to
this
be a busy month.
portal season? Almost 8 o'clock on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
People everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
So you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
Hey Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmer. And it's a great time to be a Razorback.
Embrace the hole!
Whether it's a touchdown, a slam dunk, or a grand slam.
Big Susie, they were doing all the stuff. I went in there to get something to eat, and they're cheering. I'm like, what is going on here?
We're here with the excitement and insight you crave.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now,
It's the Razorback Daily from the team at Sport and Store.
That might be our best episode ever.
Available wherever you listen to your podcast each morning.
We want to make sure that you can read some ludicrous lyrics on his 47th birthday
I can
today.
do that one. Roll out, roll out. The Chuck and Bo Show.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, cold air is going to stick with us for the next couple of days. Partly to mostly sunny skies today. Upper 20s north, mid 30s south with winds up to 30 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, mid to upper teens overnight, and sunshine back with us on Tuesday. A high low 30s north, upper 30s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown, Arkansas! How did he get that wide open?
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
What if I told you that you could get a beer at the movies?
I've heard about that too. I keep up. I just choose not to participate.
Well, what if I told you you could get a cocktail at the movies?
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Is
that what you guys do? You go to the movies, you just slam drinks? Yeah. Well, hell, that's the reason movies like Despicable Me 4 are like in the top 10, because people are just getting drunk.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to save sports radio.
Ready to roll right now. Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I got something to say here.
You're a real Cisco and Ebert.
You guys really paint me out to be, a lot less hip than I actually am. I do keep up with what's going on. Sometimes I play into your little young boys' games.
3 squash
just for
tomatoes
your own
on Rotten
amusement.
Tomatoes.
But I know what's going on.
Quite an analysis.
But
of
you
the
guys
movies.
go out of your way to make me seem old and outdated.
I don't think
when
I don't think it's that difficult.
Well, my point is I'm a lot smarter than you guys think I am.
It's like taking 4 balls and walking down to first base.
Whatever.
It's about that simple.
If it helps you to think that, that's fine.
Just go get on first base.
Slide.
Richard Davenport has joined us. Richard, when's the last time you went to a movie?
Oh, don't throw me into this.
See?
And did you get drunk, as Chuck suggests?
Richard's not a young man.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Chuck and I are about the same age. Megan and I think it was back during the summer, we went to go see a movie, and I forgot what. It was,
exactly.
I feel you.
My people.
I know. It's like, how was your weekend? Well, I went to the mall, and then I went to the movies. Like, that's not happening anymore. Yeah, I went to Walmart. That's what happened. Richard Davenport, Arkansas Democrat, Gazette, WholeHogSports.com, the recruiting guy. RD, how's Arkansas doing in the portal? How are they netting out?
They have 17. The latest, Marcus Dumerville, Maryland offensive lineman who started off at LSU and played 3 seasons there, and actually started against Arkansas in 2021 down in Baton Rouge, and then transferred to Maryland. But he committed and signed. So number 17 and they're, I think, ranked number 13 nationally right now by 247 as far as transfer portal recruiting signees commitments.
How's it gone overall? Like, normally in years past, if we were having this conversation, it'd be like, hey, how did they end up with their recruiting class? Where do you think they landed? We have the rankings and all that, but then you'd break down like, well, they addressed their needs and whatever. Now we're doing the same thing with the portal. So to date, is Arkansas better than they ended the season on paper?
On paper, I would probably say I would probably say it's pretty even. I don't know. It's just such a tough, you did lose 3 starting offensive linemen, and they've done well with the offensive linemen as far as signees thus far. They have 5 total, and Corey Robinson is one of the top 5 offensive tackles in the portal, and then Shaq McRoy was also one of the top tackles in the portal, and Caden Kelters was one of the top centers in the portal, but it's just I think they've obviously done well. You really truly don't know until springtime, and then obviously next season, especially in the offensive line. I was just thinking about that. We saw the struggles that they had, especially pass pro, and a lot of that is just chemistry, and I think Coach Pittman's kind of hit on that. Chemistry is kind of hard to develop when you have so many guys coming in and leaving. You don't have those 3 or 4 year guys that have played together for 3 or 4 years, and it's going to be another challenge, at least on the offensive line for next season too, I would imagine. But maybe to go better.
Richard, so much has already happened in the portal this year, but it really kicks back up this week. What does Arkansas have planned over the course of the next several days? It sounds like there's going to be a lot of guys coming in and out.
Yeah, well, January 1st through the 5th was for midterm guys, far as transfers, and now that they used to about this time of the year until the last 3 or 4 years, it was a dead period. Now it's a contact period where coaches could actually go out on the road and see prospects. I'm talking high school prospects, and even transfer guys if they wanted to. And then obviously can still have guys visit from the portal. So and I do anticipate that will happen this week. And then kids from the signing class, the high school signing class, and the portal obviously signing class will also be starting to get on campus on Friday through the weekend and to start classes next weekend. So it'll be another busy week. I got my eye on a few guys as far as possible visits, but haven't confirmed them yet. But it will definitely probably be a busy weekend visit-wise. This week, excuse me.
No, sorry, you mentioned a midterm, guys. Help us make sure we're understanding here. So at what point are players that are in the transfer portal not coming in January? So that like they'll be coming in the summer, going into fall camp. When in the portal season do we hit that point?
Well, excuse me. Our classes at Arkansas start next week. I think it's next Tuesday, and then you have about a 5-day window where guys can still enroll during that period and begin the spring semester. After that, unless the school, I guess, makes a special exception, which I haven't seen that happen very often. I think it's happened one other time, and I can't remember the guy's name. But it's very rare that schools allow guys after that 4 or 5 day window to enroll. So really, next week is you're getting near the end of the possibility of getting guys in for the spring semester. And as far as the other schools, I really can't speak for them. But I mean, you're seeing where these teams are playing in the NCAA in the playoffs. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that's going to work because it's an uncharted territory for me to cover guys like that, to where they're going to try to start making visits after their season, and most schools have already started their classes and their 4 or 5 day window to get into the school has already passed. So I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe some schools will make exceptions, maybe some won't. I don't know.
Yeah, another thing that is kind of being figured out, it seems like, as we go here. Richard Davenport, Arkansas Democrat, is at WholeHogSports.com covering the portal and recruiting, and happy to have him on the Chuck and Bo Show with some insight. Maybe you can help me with this. Rashad Dubinion has committed to App State. I bring that up because I think people look at that and they're like, what's going on? Why would he be going from Arkansas to App State? And does App State really have NIL money or, a collective? They're going to be able to pay him like an Arkansas would. And that leads me to this kind of broader question. What's sort of the criteria now with guys deciding on schools? I get at the top level, there's a money situation, but is it on every level? So, like, if you're at Arkansas and you're making $175,000 and they offer you $350 at Ole Miss or LSU, and you go, I get that scenario. But I bring up Dubinion because that probably isn't the scenario. So when you're bringing players in, what are they asking these coaches? Like, is it just money, or is there a lot more? Are there a lot more factors?
Well, as far as Dubinion, that is kind of a head scratcher because from what I understood, there was some questions about money, and maybe he got into the portal and realized he wasn't going to get what he was intended, what he wanted to get, and but obviously he had probably previous relationship with Dow Loggins. But as far as what do portal guys look for? I mean, obviously money is an issue, but also especially these guys coming in, they only have a year left. They're looking for playing time, and that's usually, the two top concerns of transfers is playing time and money. but also it could be that they just didn't have a good relationship with their position coach or head coach, and they're looking for a fresh start. And I know with the Maryland offensive lineman, he just felt very, very comfortable at Arkansas with Coach Pittman and Coach Mateos, and maybe he just felt like that was just a better fit for him. And I'm sure there's some money involved, but I think sometimes you just want a fresh start.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch some of this movement, and I think about Dubinion and the lineman's case may be similar. I don't know, but I look at Dubinion and I think he's probably, certainly he was not at the top of the NIL food chain at Arkansas. He may go to App State and be one of their highest paid players, making similar money to what he made at Arkansas, and he goes there and he's their feature back. I don't know that that's going to happen, but just kind of from the outside looking in, I wondered about that. And I do think it's an interesting point you're making, Richard, about fit and feel. Players are not tied down. They don't have to stay in a spot where they're not happy. I have a difficult time believing that, Dubinion, if he'd gone Power 4, would have gotten more money than he was making at Arkansas. I don't think there's any reason to believe that. Some of these other guys, too. I just think it's interesting why some of these guys move. And money's the root of a lot of it, but as you say, it may not always be the deciding factor.
No, and I think some guys overvalue their market value, and then they get in and maybe it's because their pride, they won't reach back out to their schools and say, hey, can I come back? Some kids obviously do that, some don't. I think if you have a following, if you're a follower, you have that following mentality. Everybody else is doing it. Well, and there's I have no doubt that there's some kids that do that. My couple of my teammates have left. Why am I here? And sometimes I think they get caught up if they don't have a good support circle around them, support system, and give them sound advice. I think you see a lot of guys make poor decisions, and I'm not saying that that's the case with Rashad, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Richard, always appreciate it, man. Thanks for hopping on this weird Monday. We're trying to figure out what time of the year it is. We're into January, New Year, but we're just kind of getting into that first full week. So thanks for hopping on with us and the update, and we'll keep reading your updates at wholehogsports.com.
All right, guys. I'm going to be looking at the movie list today to figure out where I want to go this afternoon.
Get the newspaper out and find the listings.
Yeah.
Thanks, RD. Richard Davenport.
Do people
Arkansas
still call the
Democrat Gazette?
You could call the number at the theater, and it would run through all the movies that were on. Do they still do that, Bart?
Movie phone. What was that service you could? There's a Seinfeld episode about it.
I forget.
Do you become frustrated when you call anywhere and you want to talk to somebody and they want to run you through their automation?
Yes. Every single time.
And you just want to hit.
I want to throw my phone.
And then you try to shortcut the system, and so you start hitting like 0 because you think it's going to get you there.
I do that.
It doesn't. It takes you to like a VRBO sale, or whatever.
It is maddening. You feel like you've hit the jackpot just if you talk to a human being.
It is, yes. And it's, wow, you can really lose your cool in that situation.
No, that's never happened to me, but I've heard of people getting upset there.
My favorite is when they ask you to put all your information in, right? So we're going through this process so that when I get to talk to a real person, then they're going to have all my information, and we're just going to move right along. That's not what happens.
Yeah, it never
I got to go
works that
through
way.
all the information all again. Why did I put this in here? Anyhow, happy New Year.
Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with right now?
Yeah. This is Chuck Barrett.
Well, I've been punching everything in for the last 20 minutes.
I'll tell you, it's a real pleasure. All right, 8:17. Good morning, Chuck and Bo Show. It's cold outside.
You said something interesting. I don't think you meant to, but when you talked about Bill's...
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
Insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
We are possibly entering what could be a golden age in Razorback athletics.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback. The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea. It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays? Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke. Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta www.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Go Hogs!
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You were breaking up on me, but
I'm breaking up
well,
on you.
my headphones
I'm 3
weren't.
feet from
Well,
you.
but my headphones
Chuck.
weren't working. They cut out. You're breaking up on me.
If the headphones go down, Chuck goes wild.
Well, I can't hear you.
I can't hear.
I can't.
You're breaking up on me.
You are.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That's become the only source of humor on this show, just making fun of me. It really is.
Nah, I don't think that's
true.
true.
I think it's true.
I think everybody's
Edward and
fair
Bart,
game.
they're conspiring against me with your encouragement.
I mean, it wasn't long
with
ago.
your encouragement.
It wasn't long ago where Bart nearly walked out.
I know. He was mad. I know he was mad that day.
It was not pretty.
Well,
and I don't know. Just this last week, it seems that
some days you're the hammer, some days
we're
you're
gonna
the
go in a
nail.
back alley.
I know.
And they were gonna.
I was trying to instigate it.
They were gonna throw hands.
I was trying to get it going.
You were.
It's cold in here.
Hey, you can listen on the Taco Bell. Hit that line app anywhere across this world. Take the show with you wherever you go.
With your
Just
phone.
right there on your
They're
phone.
listening in
Download the app.
Antarctica.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
really?
Oh yeah, and Japan, and Korea.
You've gotten correspondence from these people?
Yeah, of course.
Well, sure. Wow.
We are. We're on the World Wide Web. HitThatLine.com or Hit That Line Now app presented by Taco Bell. Chuck and Bo Show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can listen on demand, Spotify or Apple Podcast. Just search the Chuck and Bo Show. There's really no excuse for not listening to the show. It's everywhere. It's anywhere you want to get it. Other than if you think we suck, and that's a whole other issue. But then you should listen twice as long. 877-377-6963. Today is National Technology Day. Another great opportunity to make fun of Chuck.
Yeah, it's my day.
It's also National Bean Day. What do you want to do with that?
There's really not much you could do with National Bean Day. Enjoy some beans.
I'd have some edamame.
Shortbread Day, National Shortbread Day.
It's also Jameis Winston's 31st birthday. And
Jameis Winston.
What's that?
What are you laughing about, Bart?
Just this whole exchange.
Yeah.
Something I said.
You can do with beans.
Something I said.
What do you want to do with beans?
Well, there's not much you can do with beans.
That's what Chuck says.
It's the delivery.
Really.
Well, I mean, beans are involved with everything. What does he even mean by that?
You can make a soup.
Beans are everywhere.
But they're an accessory food, is what I mean. You don't like...
There's a whole burrito, a bean burrito.
Gross. A bean burrito. Are you kidding me?
I mean, some people like that.
You can have mine. I mean, I like a good burrito, don't get me wrong, but not just a bean burrito.
I mean, any good Mexican dish has beans, refried beans.
I understand all that, and I'm all for that. I'm just saying a bean burrito.
You go to Chipotle, they're
It's
going to
not
offer you
appealing.
beans.
I understand all. Once
beans are
again,
pretty prominent.
Once again, you guys
Staple.
have taken what I'm saying. You're twisting it and turning it.
You're the
for
one
your
who's
own
saying
amusement.
there's not a lot you can do
there's
with
not.
beans. They're in everything.
Well, all right,
you can
whatever,
do everything
whatever,
with beans.
whatever. Twisting.
You can make chili. You can make tacos.
I don't cook. I don't do a lot of cooking.
I don't either.
Just get me out of here.
Jameis Winston's 31st birthday. And today we celebrate.
What I need? What's that? Hot turbo, what's that? Somebody jump on sides, damn!
As a kid, my passion was always football. I didn't realize that my passion was playing football.
It's a white boy from Detroit that I really admire, named Eminem. He said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity lasts once in a lifetime. And I know I got a quote, Eminem, he from Detroit, he right up the road, but...
I know I'm better than this. I know. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
I am so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow, to be in true football weather.
Where was the pain, Jameis?
Yeah, just pain. It was pain everywhere. So we got to keep on pushing through and being resilient. Our body is so symmetrical, right? You got your wrists, and then what are your wrists on the bottom half? Your ankles, you got your shoulders up top. What are your shoulders? Your hips, you know what I'm saying? You got your elbows. What are your elbows? Your knees, right? Like so.
Everyone inside this building believes that this is the time you guys can turn it around. What's been the message?
Unwavering faith, ultimate belief, depending on the Lord. That's all we got.
Oh, man. Whew. he's a philosopher.
He is.
31 and a brain like that. I mean, that's unusual.
He's got a lot to say, but he gets a little tongue-tied, sometimes.
Man.
He's an interesting guy.
Oh.
I know I'm better than this. I know. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Man. 877-377-6963 if you want to text or call. We're brought to you in part by the Sweat and Edge. Chuck and I have both done it. If you're not feeling great, you don't have the energy, go get the evaluation. It's free. You don't need to drag. You don't need to depend on caffeine all day, every day. And this is an in-depth look at your labs to really tell you what your game plan could be. And then you get to decide what you want to do about it, if anything. But it's at least worth knowing where you stand. SweatingThemCosmetic.com. It's the Sweating Them Edge. You'll see up top, there's a drop down for the Sweating Them Edge. It'll tell you all about it. Glad I did it. I feel way different, way better. And looking forward to mowing both my lawn and Chuck's lawn this year. I'm going to take on like some extra just chores. I just feel like I got that much energy. SweatingThemCosmetic.com. That's not true, by the way, about your lawn, but I do have a lot of energy. SweatingThemCosmetic.com. It's the Sweating Them Edge. Chuck and Bo Show. It's 8:28. Good morning. Chuck, have you ever had oat milk?
No.
Do you like squeeze milk out of an
Or
oat?
is it just milk over oats?
Yeah, that's what happens. How does that work?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweating Them Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatingThemCosmetic.com and click on the Sweating Them Edge. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
I like craft beer. I do. You guys always think I'm like the biggest dork on the face of the earth.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
National Championship Program. National Championship Coach. A match made in hog heaven.
This program, you talk about some of the best jobs in the country. In basketball, this is one of them. This fan base is so engaged. I love it.
Throws it up at the horn. It's good. Arkansas is going to win the game.
This program is the state's program.
Listen to every moment of John Calipari's first season.
Right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Over the river and through the woods, to Salisaw we go. Mock Legal Solutions is opening a second location to serve our Eastern Oklahoma clients. 105 East Chickasaw. For divorce and custody, let us give you the Christmas gift of a new start. And for personal injury, we will get you a settlement check when Grandma gets run over by that reindeer. 918-238-2363. Or check out our website at mocklegalsolutions.com. Free intakes and payment plans available. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes free tax extra.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools.
Pretty exciting. First time that we've done a podcast, and we're going to try to promote Fort Smith Public Schools, what we do with our basketball at all 6 schools, the 4 middle schools and both high schools. And then, of course, we've got several big-time tournaments coming up, one that starts today. And so this is going to be exciting.
Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports. New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com.
Cadence for 3. It's on the way.
Yes! Yes! You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Does the show feel like it's always a friendly environment? I was going to say, just like
I guess it depends on which side of the fence you're on.
It's friendly. Sometimes you get yelled at, but it's still friendly. We have donuts. We have
Bart's
sauce.
friendly.
We have kolaches.
Bart and Edward friendly.
We have donut holes.
We've
we have
trained
coffee.
ourselves.
We've trained ourselves. We're taking a mediocre victory lap today.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'll tell you what's not mediocre.
What's that?
Blakeman's has their new facility done in Rogers.
Oh, really?
They had a pop-up store for a while to renovate the jewelry store, and it's massive. Like, it's incredible. It's just like one of those places you go just to look around, just because it's such an attraction. Blakeman's Fine Jeweler, the official jeweler of the Razerbacks. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Razorbacks, and the Chuck and Bo Show. 877-377-6963. We've been in and out of basketball conversation today after Arkansas lost to number 1 Tennessee 76-52, and we're out rebounded 51-29. 11-3 on the season. Next up is Ole Miss Wednesday inside Bud Walton Arena on ESPN2 at 6 o'clock. Here's John Calipari postgame with Matt Zimmerman.
Missing a bunch of free throws, 6 for 30. He's just not going to win. Mm-hmm. You get beat by they had more offensive rebounds than we had rebounds. Come on. Yeah. Well, what is that? Is that some skill? That's fight. Fight. I didn't do a shoot around today. If I had to do it over again, I would. I didn't because it was a noon start with our body time, and I thought it would be better to let them sleep in. Should have had a shoot around. Let them sleep all day.
Yeah.
Get them. I think they were ready. I like how we started the game. We did some good stuff.
And TJ was very aggressive early on.
Yeah, and Carter makes a shot. You can't look. You don't have to make all your threes. But you can't miss them all. You can't miss 10 in a row, or you're not going to win. And we did some things good. We fought, and all I kept saying, let's get it to single digits. Let's get it to 9. You watch what happens. Get it to 13, give up a 3. So they deserve to win. They played like the number 1 team in the country. They played with some desire. They were not going to let us come in here and win a fight. They were going to win that, and they did.
Yeah. And coaches, second half, again, you kind of kept making little small runs, then we'd have a little bit of a scoring drought. And we got some guys that can score, but first time on the road, big environment for some of these guys.
Yeah, that may be the case. And it's, of all the teams you're going to play on the road, this would be the one that you'd say they're number 1 in the country now. Every road game in this league is going to be like this.
Yes.
And so, our home games, we need our fans to be there, and we need to play better.
Yeah.
But I haven't lost any faith in this group. You think you go on the road and you're playing the number 1 team, you just want you to play better. I want them to show what they are. Yeah. And what we showed is we kind of got manhandled. Yeah. And up and down the line. I thought Jonas fought, but, Adu didn't play well. Yeah. You think about Adu not playing well and Boogie missing every jump shot, that ain't going to work for us.
And Adu's only had like one game that he hadn't played well all season,
and both of them we lose.
Yeah.
Missed. Now he didn't play that bad against Illinois, but he missed 9 free throws.
Yeah. Well, turn around now, head home, play Wednesday, got another good team, Ole Miss.
Yeah, and like I said, I think we're off tomorrow. I'm going to do a little bit of traveling here, and then we get back. Watch the tape and let's go. And you got to flip it around quick.
Yeah, gotta let it go.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right.
That's Chuck at the end.
Yeah, okay.
I left that in there.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right. Okay. That was that.
That's a good way to sum it up.
All right. Well, it is. That is a good summary of what, the coach's perspective on the game. What were your takeaways as you were listening to that? Bart, what did you think about the shoot-around?
Man, look. This is something that Cal's done before.
Yeah.
And there were some clips that resurfaced on social media of him saying the exact same thing while he was at Kentucky. Just don't say that. Just don't say that.
Yeah, don't tell people.
Yeah, because it's just a bad look.
Fun to react to.
Yeah, it's just a bad look.
Kentucky fans are all up
Yeah.
on Twitter.
See, I took
Cal
that as a
and all
coach trying to lay the problems at his own feet.
100%.
As opposed to throwing his
100%.
players under the bus.
I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
See, I think when Cal says things like that, honestly, I think those types of statements are why players like him, why they like playing for him. He's not going to throw those guys. Now, look, he'll get after him.
He'll say it.
He'll get after him collectively. Yeah. He'll get after him collectively, but he's not going to throw some individual under the bus.
Well, he'll call it. If they don't play well, he'll say he didn't play well tonight. Or, sometimes Boogie just, loses focus or whatever. He'll say things like that. This is a team that he has told us from the beginning was going to be a work in progress. We got some text today. Well, every team is going to be a brand new roster every year. That's not necessarily true. And I think part of the reason Tennessee looks the way they do is they've got a lot of pieces back.
They do. And let's also notice, DJ Wagner played for him at Kentucky. So did Big Z. So did Thero. It's not like these guys are new. They're not freshmen. They're new to us, first-year guys here. But they played with Cal before, and I suspect going forward that we will see players stay 2, sometimes 3 years. 3 may very well be the exception, or there may be more 2s than 3s. But I suspect there will be more of a mix than people think. I don't believe there's going to be an entirely new roster every year, although there certainly will be new players every year.
How much is Tennessee, how similar is Tennessee like other teams in the league? Because we keep saying, well, it's going to be like this, or Cal said it's going to be like this, every road game. And I understand what he's saying. But really, does every SEC team defend the way that Tennessee defends and make you work the way Tennessee makes you work the entire game? That just seemed like another level.
Yeah, look, I think Tennessee is number 1 in the country in defensive efficiency. Auburn plays really good defense. Texas A&M plays really good defense. Mississippi State plays really good defense. Those are kind of the ones that are really, really – Ole Miss, let's not forget Ole Miss and Chris Beard. Those are the ones who play really physical defense. The rest of the teams in the league, not so much.
Yeah, Ole Miss coming up Wednesday in Fayetteville. Rod's on I-40 on the drive this morning. Hey, Rod.
Hey, guys, how you doing? I just thought I'd call in and I kind of looked at that basketball game, and I think our team was missing something, and I think it was oat milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was oat milk.
Generally, they pass that around at shoot-around.
Yeah, so you have to have your shoot-around, and you have to have your oat milk, right, Chuck?
Yep. That's
Gotta have it.
That's a good.
That's a Bard thing.
That's a. We don't know anything about that.
Yeah. All right, Rod. Thanks, man.
I got jokes today.
Cecil's in Fort Smith. Cecil, you're on the Chuck and Bo show.
What just happened?
Well, it went over like a pregnant hiker.
Good morning.
What's up, Cecil?
How you doing, Chuck?
Doing
hey,
great.
I've heard Coach say something about fighting. I mean, you know, and the boys is the boys, man. You have to be the chairman of the boys. Putbacks is very important, and if you don't get no putbacks, you're gonna lose the game. You're gonna lose every game. I mean, just me watching the ABA, NBA coming up, and you got to have some beef in the paint. And I was wanting to know, are we recruiting any big men? I'm sure we are. I'm sure you're working on that. And the guys, you're getting paid a lot of money, man, not to miss shots. You got to hit those shots.
Arkansas doesn't have a size issue. I wouldn't say they have a size issue. I mean, they play smaller lineups sometimes.
They've got a physical issue. Like a
physical issue, exactly, a physical issue.
So outside of AD, they don't really have a
they don't
physical
have a
big guy.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, we need a dominant big man. I mean, we really need that, and we really need to just keep hustling and playing really hard. Sound like Coach was saying, like we wasn't giving enough effort. When you lose like that, I think that's what it is. Because we're better than 47 points now. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, shots, they had a difficult time making shots, didn't make threes. By the way, they blocked 10 shots, and Tennessee got 8 offensive rebounds out of their 10 blocks. Tennessee didn't have a ton of second chance points. They had like 16, which is, it's a difference in the game. But this was just a bad game for Arkansas. And I wonder if it's that simple or if there are bigger issues. I mean, you've pointed out some of the issues. Nelly not being what he was last year is another thing that's been pointed to. But they still have enough talent, I think, to compete at the level they were expected to. I'm just curious if we're going to see more of what we saw on Saturday or if that was just sort of like a bad game. Like, sometimes it's that simple.
All we really know right now is they're not as good as Tennessee by a pretty wide margin. Ole Miss beat Georgia by, 12 at Ole Miss?
Correct.
They didn't score a lot. Ole Miss didn't, but, to their credit, neither did Georgia. And that's
63 to 51.
That's why they won. Florida scored a lot of points at Kentucky, a lot of points, scored 100 and lost. That doesn't happen very often, so they can obviously score. It also tells me that Florida they'll get up and down the floor with you. Florida scored 100 points but lost. That tells me they didn't get back on defense very well. And so my point is this, is that I don't think Arkansas was as bad as the score indicated they were on Saturday. I think they're going to win the majority of their home games. I think this team will be a good team at home. I think a lot of the transition game that they're so good in, those things generally happen at home as opposed to being on the road. It is going to be tough to win on Saturday in somebody else's building. But here's the thing. It's going to be tough for them to come in here and win on Saturdays too. Saturday road games are hard. And they just happened to open with one this past Saturday against maybe the best team in the league.
Cecil was talking about what Arkansas was lacking, and that's true. But you've got to have an identity as a team based on what you have and what you don't have. And I think Arkansas is still trying to figure out their identity. In other words, you don't always have to have every single piece, but you got to be good at what it is you're going to run and create that situation that the other team has to deal with. And I'm not sure that Arkansas has fully really, in fact, I don't think they have, gelled in that way to know, hey, this is what we got to do. This is what we do well. This is how we win. And this is how we create problems for the other team.
We know the guards are good. I think what Cecil was talking about a minute ago is there's a physical game that's played inside. And it doesn't really matter how tall you are. That's certainly something that is important in basketball, but, the battle inside, the fight inside, it's going to be generally big guys in there anyway. So I think that's kind of what he's talking about right there. When you look at the two games this year where I looked at the other teams and thought they're a whole lot better than we are, or Illinois and Tennessee. And it was the physicality inside, to me, that was the difference in both those games.
We're brought to you in part by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, Flight by Yingling, Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric, the Fayetteville Auto Park, and First Security Bank. It's 8:47. It's Monday, January 6th on the Chuck and Bo Show.
It's going to be a tough slog from now till the end of time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling diamonds to classic watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for everyone on your list. Stop by Blakeman's and Rogers and let us help you make this holiday one to remember. Because at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry. It's your story. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Pascal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thank you all for your show. It's a great format in the morning. It's really nice to have knowledgeable people to wake up to and listen to. So thank you all.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Let's take you as an example. You're rich, and you're still here.
I am not rich, or I wouldn't be here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Sorry about the lottery.
Yeah, it
I
just
know,
hadn't
it was
worked out
one of
yet.
the goals
I keep thinking this will be the year. Hasn't happened yet.
By the way, if you're looking for an icebreaker today, like you're going to meet somebody, maybe it's first time, like cold calling in sales. Maybe you're going to lunch with somebody. You're going to try to, sit down, tell them about your business or whatever. The way to start the conversation, take a page from Mike McCarthy.
I'll just be clear. I'm a winner.
And then just look at him and say, now tell me about you.
Yeah.
That's Mike McCarthy.
I'll just be clear. I'm a winner.
Now, who are you?
That's how Bart starts every date. That's how every date begins with
That's how
Bart.
Chuck and I started when we were having the
That's right.
conversation about doing the show.
That's right.
Then I had a sea bass and a martini and said, let's get to work. And that was noon, and we've never looked back.
Yeah, that's right.
Never looked back. 877-377-6963. Who's the favorite? Who's the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl now that the NFL playoffs are set?
Be the Detroit Lions.
They're the odds-on favorite.
Yeah,
They're the betting favorite.
The Lions plus 275, the Chiefs plus 290, and then it drops to the
What
Ravens.
are the Ravens?
And the
plus
Bills
600.
at plus 600.
That's Chuck. Chuck said the Ravens.
So you're telling me
They're telling me this.
that if I
plus
put
600.
$100 down on the Ravens,
That's right.
I can win $600.
That's correct.
Taking candy from a baby right there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a Ravens fan. I just think they're the
Have
best
you
team
taken
out
candy
there.
from a baby?
Many times, so yeah.
What a thought. What a thought. College football playoffs, Thursday and Friday this week. Penn State and Notre Dame. And then Friday, and that's the Orange Bowl in Miami. And then Friday, it's Texas and Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. Chuck's still figuring out, is there any team that he can root at all for? Because right now,
World's
it's a
just
hard
going
no.
to hell, man.
It's a hard
It's going to hell.
It's a hard no.
Notre Dame, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas. I mean,
By the way, we got a question here asking us about players that enter the portal and how many don't get picked up, and is their football career over?
sometimes.
Sometimes it is, and there's so many players in the portal. I would say it's a safe estimation that more than half of the players that enter the portal, probably the majority, vast majority, don't end up in a better situation. There's a small percentage that do, but many do not.
You can take what you have now, or you can select door number 3. That's basically what it boils down to sometimes.
I think I'm going to open door number 3 as we approach 9 o'clock. Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Scion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. And that's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what on time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, cold air is going to stick with us for the next couple of days. Partly to mostly sunny skies today. Upper 20s north, mid 30s south with winds